Honoring heroes on this Veterans Day, how a grateful Southern Nevada and a nation said thank you to the men and women who've served our country. Plus, a live look outside right now, the cold stretch of weather in months for Southern Nevada. Is there more freezing conditions in store? Ted will have the answer for us in just a moment.
Now, Nevada's first choice for news. This is Channel 8 News Now, Weekend Edition.
Hello and thanks for being with us. I'm Chris Saldana. Veterans Day, it's coming to an end, but not without several events across the country and right here in Las Vegas. It was a small way of saying thank you to our service members. Some of the events included more than 60 wounded warriors receiving a VIP treatment from MGM Resorts International. Also, thousands of people attended the annual Veterans Day parade in downtown, and dozens of military brides got their wedding dresses for free in honor of Veterans Day. Reporter Brian Brennan joins us now with more on today's events. Brian?
You know, Veterans Day is a way to thank all the men and women currently serving or that have served in our nation's military. It's a day where the community comes together to thank the heroes that have sacrificed so much for our freedom. Children waved flags.
It's awesome. It's so awesome.
And adults looked on with respect.
It's just exciting to be here and just the atmosphere and the crowd.
As the parade cruised down Gas Avenue. Veterans we talked to say they feel the public support.
I think it's more special today than it was when I was serving because I think people appreciate the service and sacrifice, whereas less than 1% of the people actually serve in the military today. So I think that makes it more special.
Besides the large parade, there were many other events honoring veterans. Onlookers were inspired by a group of wounded warriors letting it all hang out on the softball field. Jeffrey Redmond was injured serving in Iraq and says the trip helps the warriors bond.
Bonding with other wounded warriors that have been through your shoes. You can also help them pull out of the depression state that they're in if they're in depression. I've done that 3 or 4 times.
Case, that looks beautiful. Your daddy would freak.
Across town, a bridal salon gave out free dresses, part of Operation Wedding Gown.
It's a very emotional time. I'm the first one in our family to get married and to do all this and have kids and stuff, so this is very emotional for our family.
People at the parade say they can't thank veterans enough for their service.
Just bringing the kids out to show them what guys that have served and show them how to respect them.
The Nevada Office of Veteran Services says at least 300,000 veterans live in our state, and with Nellis Air Force Base so close, there's a high concentration in Las Vegas, and it really was a pleasure getting to see so many heroes honored today. Chris?
A great wrap-up. Thanks a lot, Brian. Also on this Veterans Day at the parade, one family took the opportunity to use this occasion to continue to bring awareness to the issue that many veterans need help even after their time in the military. Linda Young's brother, Stanley Gibson, was killed in an officer-involved shooting in Las Vegas nearly a year ago. The family says Gibson got disoriented and ended up in a confrontation with police. He was a disabled vet. She says he's changed by war and suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder.
He had physical things going on as well as PTSD. And these things didn't come out for us for a couple of years after he got back home. And I think if we had more support for him as soon as he got back to the States, that would not have been going on as long as it did and got as bad as it did.
Family is using their grief to advocate for more veterans services. A number of people will celebrate Veterans Day tomorrow as a holiday. That means government offices, state and local and federal businesses are going to be closed. There's no mail delivery. Some banks and businesses may choose to close their doors as well, so be prepared. President Obama spoke during the Veterans Day ceremony at Arlington National Cemetery. He also took some time to lay a wreath at the Tomb of the Unknown and met with military families in Section 60 of the cemetery. That's for veterans of the most recent wars in Iraq and Afghanistan have been buried.
The proud nation expresses our gratitude, but we do so mindful that no ceremony or parade, no hug or handshake is enough to truly honor that service. For that, we must do more. For that, we must commit this day and every day to serving you as well as you've served us.
The President and First Lady also hosted veterans at the White House today. Southern Nevada, it is coming off of a weekend that brought some of the coldest conditions that we have seen for the first time this year. Look who joins me now. Ted joins us now. Now, yesterday we had a freeze warning. Tonight, what can we expect? Chilly conditions, but no warning?
Chilly conditions, no warning. Not quite record-breaking lows, which we're all happy about, right? But yeah, definitely a cold night for sure. Here's a live look outside right now at some temperatures. We're actually our lows overnight. We're in the 40s for the east side, 30s for the far west side of the valley, which is understandable because we're higher in elevation out there. But 32 degrees is the freezing mark. Didn't quite reach it throughout many of our neighborhoods. But still, though, for this time of the year, we usually don't get in the 30s until December 3rd. 31 in Sandy Valley, Laughlin 42 degrees, 27 for Blue Diamond, Prim hit 34 degrees. Now, those were your overnight lows. These are your current temperatures outside right now, where we're currently only in the 40s right now. For the valley, 38 up in Wampa, 44 Boulder City, and also 32 with freezing mark for Blue Diamond, Prim at 35 degrees at this hour. Let's go to another map and show you what's going on. That big H you see there in California, that is slowly working its way towards us. What's that mean? Will we see warmer weather? We'll break this all down for you coming up in your full neighborhood forecast coming up in a few minutes right here on 8 News Now. Do not miss it. Chris, over to you.
All right, we'll see you then, Ted. This cold weather system, it could bring an early start to the ski season. Higher elevations in California and northern Nevada, they have seen some substantial snow this weekend. The Las Vegas Ski and Snowboard Resort posted this update on its Facebook page tonight. It says it's used 2 million gallons of water in snow-making efforts so far, and the resort is still going full throttle with more cold temperatures expected on Mount Charleston during the overnight hours. The low last night was in the teens. The resort will continue to make snow and push towards getting those slopes open as soon as they can. There was a tragic accident this weekend at the Indian National Finals Rodeo at the South Point Hotel and Casino. 25-year-old J.D. Jones died on Saturday night. Jones was entered in the saddle bronc riding event. He somehow got tangled up in the saddle rigging and was struck in the head by the bronco. The horse, it also fell on him. The horse did receive some injuries and was eventually put down as well. A North Las Vegas police officer was hurt today in a car crash. This happened shortly after noon near Craig and MLK. The patrol car ended up on the sidewalk. The other car involved suffered some serious damage as well. Part of Craig was shut down for some time. Both the officer and the other driver involved were taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. The cause of this crash is still under investigation. And an investigation is underway into the cause of a big fire that caused $1 million in damage to a warehouse early this morning. It took 50 firefighters about 30 minutes to put out the 2-alarm fire at the Universal Watch Company. The location was near Tropicana and Valley View. The building was engulfed in flames when firefighters arrived just after 1 this morning. No one was hurt in this fire. The election results for Clark County will become official in just a few days. Registrar Larry Lomax will present the results to the County Commission on Wednesday. This is called canvassing. The results are the returns, which makes them official. Lomax had a staff of at least 4,000 people helping with the election this year and tabulating those results. Here in Clark County, almost 690,000 residents cast their ballots in the general election. That's a turnout of nearly 81%. A neighborhood turned into rubble in an instant.
The house felt like it was shaking. My heart, your chest was shaking, and it just felt, it's nothing that you've ever experienced.
The deadly blast, it leveled homes and forced the evacuation of hundreds. The search for answers as to what went wrong. Plus the investigation into the resignation of David Petraeus. The woman who received threatening emails from the former CIA director's mistress has been identified. Also, a controversial rally could have created a confrontation. Instead, why opponents decided to take a different approach and use humor to poke fun at protesters.
This portion of 8 News Now is brought to you by Rapid Cash. You're watching 8 News Now Weekend Edition with Chris Saldana. The news for Southern Nevada is now.
A massive explosion in Indianapolis is under investigation. 2 people were killed and damaged at least 80 homes. Investigators are now looking into every possibility, including a gas leak. Some of the homes were damaged so badly they're now going to have to be demolished. The blast was heard several miles away. About 200 people were forced to evacuate while firefighters battled the flames that had spread to other homes.
The house probably felt like it moved a foot or so, and all we could do is get out of here.
We're sitting here watching TV, next thing you know, it's just this loud explosion. The whole house shook, things falling off the walls.
It may be days before some will return to their homes. The community is coming together. Neighbors quickly stock relief centers with food, diapers, and anything people who can't go back to their homes might need. America's self-proclaimed toughest sheriff may have some explaining to do. For the first time ever, there was an escape at the Maricopa County Jail in Phoenix. The suspect was arrested hours later, but for a while, personnel thought the attempted murder and robbery suspect was hiding or lost somewhere in the sprawling jail, which also houses Joe Arpaio's famous Tent City lockup. Well, it turns out the man escaped from the psychiatric unit and now faces more charges. The woman who received harassing emails from David Petraeus' mistress has acknowledged her friendship with the former CIA director and is now asking for some privacy. Jill Kelly says she and her family have been friends with Petraeus and his family for more than 5 years. Petraeus resigned after admitting to an extramarital affair with the biographer Paula Broadwell. The FBI learned of the affair as it was investigating emails sent by Broadwell to Kelly, who serves as an unpaid social liaison to an Air Force base in Florida. The Las Vegas golf professional coach has coached some of the biggest names in the game, including Tiger Woods. But on this Veterans Day, Butch Harmon was doing a different kind of teaching, the special event that gave him so much pride. Plus more action off the track than on it at the next to the last NASCAR race of the season. What had crews and drivers fighting? Also, keep the jackets handy this week. Ted Florendo has the full neighborhood weather forecast in just minutes.
First choice for news. This is Channel 8 News Now, Weekend Edition.
Investigators are looking into a case of a deadly mushroom soup. It's believed a caregiver at a home for senior citizens in Northern California picked some wild mushrooms, then she cooked them, not knowing they were poisonous. 2 residents of the faculty have died and 4 others have been hospitalized, including that caregiver who ate the mushrooms herself.
Could you tell me what you know?
Yeah, I don't know anything. I know it's a good place for my mom to live. That's all I know. They're inside.
California Department of Social Services and the Sheriff's Department are investigating to make sure a crime has not occurred. Right now, both are saying there is no evidence of foul play, and this looks like a tragic mistake. There was the possibility for tensions to get high and things to get out of hand at a rally sponsored by the KKK and some neo-Nazis. But then something odd happened in the form of a counter-protest. Some people in Charlotte, North Carolina decided to bring squeaky toys, red noses, and noisemakers. The idea was instead of meeting hate with hate, to meet them with love. The counter-protesters at the KKK rally outnumbered the white supremacists 5-1.
I think it's really important to have a sense of humor. I mean, what they want is for us to fight them. They want us to hit them with hate, and we can't become them.
Police say both sides did remain calm and no arrests were made. Gas prices, they are still sliding after nearly hitting the $4 a gallon mark just a few weeks ago. Heading into the new week, prices are falling about a cent a day as demand drops off due to the end of summer travel and a switch to a cheaper blend of gasoline. The national average for a gallon has dropped to $3.44, down from $3.81 a month ago. Southern Nevada, the average price is $3.65. It has now been 2 weeks since Superstorm Sandy slammed into New York and New Jersey, and about 120,000 homes and businesses in both states still don't have power. Most of those are within the Long Island Power Authority's area service. The power supplying agency says it isn't safe to connect those homes and businesses just yet because their wiring and other equipment was flooded. At the height of Sandy, the storm had knocked out power to some 8.5 million homes and also some businesses. Snow is a way of life during the winter for many places, but even in spots where they're used to the white stuff, this is a lot of snow a lot earlier than expected. Here's some pictures of Bismarck, North Dakota, where anywhere between 8 and 12 inches of snow has fallen just this week, and it's still coming down. People are being urged to stay off the roads. They're just so used to that. I would be thinking, what would you wear outside to that? Like, do you wear layers?
You have to layer up.
You used to work in Wisconsin, so you know how cold it gets.
It was very cold, and I do not miss de-icing my car. You know, taking the ice off the windows. Okay. Yeah, and you do have to layer up.
I don't know if I could make it out there, but they do a great job.
I don't think you could. I've known you 8 years.
know me.
I've known you 8 years, man. We're staying here in Vegas. Absolutely, yeah. The Silver State has turned to the Shiver State, that is for sure. But how long will it last? Because we're going to get those numbers back up again. For those of you who don't like the cold weather, things will improve. Outside right now, Boulder Station, we've got a clear night tonight. Winds are nice and calm. Again, I want to show you the overnight lows because the temperatures dropped to the 30s to even low 40s throughout many of our neighborhoods here in Las Vegas. 33 Durango and Robindale. That is cold. 36 for Seven Hills and Henderson. Sandy Valley at 31. That's just below the freezing mark. 21 in Caliente. 24 for Alamo, Blue Diamond 27, and Laughlin came in at 42 degrees. No doubt about it, it's cold out there right now. Mid-40s at this hour. 43 Camino El Dorado, Flamingo Boulder Highway currently 41 degrees. Same goes for Trop and Torrey Pines. 20 Mount Charleston current temperature. Searchlight 43 for you. And Prim, good evening. 34 degrees for your current temperature. Highs for the day today, not much of a difference compared to yesterday. We were in the low to mid 50s for the Valley. Washington Nellis at 57 degrees. We hit 55 for Prim. Indian Springs at 47. And Searchlight, you had a high of 49 degrees today. That really wasn't a warm-up for the day today. 54 degrees is the official high we hit. 15 degrees below our normal for this time of the year, which is 69 degrees. And officially we hit 39 degrees at McCarran. But those of you in Summerlin, we got colder than that for sure. And Henderson also got in the low 30s. So guess what? We were 53 degrees today, but it was actually warmer in Chicago and warmer in New York and Raleigh in the Outer Banks, where they were in the 50s to even 60s. Cold air moving through and clashing with that warmer air, and that's being lifted up, actually is creating some of that severe weather we saw earlier here. You can see where that line of storms is. Not as quite as severe as what we saw earlier, but still nonetheless got a lot of rain moving into Tennessee and Kentucky here. We had some tornado watches from this system way down in Louisiana and also into Arkansas. That has now expired. High pressure will work its way in and anchor in. There it is. And that's going to bring our numbers, my friends, back to the upper 60s finally. 36 degrees tonight. Cold still overnight with calm winds expected. Tomorrow 57 for a high. Sunny and cool and still below average. But we're going to get there. We're going to get to the upper 60s. Again, eventually by mid to late week. 69 degrees by Thursday. Another storm comes in, brings us some breezy winds and some additional cloud cover. But we won't get as cold as what we got this weekend for sure. So if it didn't feel like the holidays, fellas, it certainly feels like it outside right now.
And here's another sign of the holidays. You like chocolate, don't you? Who doesn't like chocolate, right?
Chocolate.
Well, this is where you should go if you like chocolate. This is Ethel Lem's Cactus Garden. Crews turned the lights on early so we could give you a sneak peek at what the 19th annual holiday cactus lighting event will look like. It's Tuesday to 8. You need to get a ticket to get in. To get one, it's pretty simple, though. Drop off a new unwrapped toy to the Ethel Lem Chocolate Factory, and you're going to get 4 free tickets. The factory is located near Sunset and Mountain Vista. Maybe some samples of chocolate as well, right?
Yeah, my wife's looking forward to going to that.
Yes.
They were going to have to make a trip.
It's nice. Yeah. Just check it out. So what's going on in sports?
Great golf event here locally, honoring some of our wounded warriors. That's coming up. Plus, road rage in Phoenix.
That's all you can call that. And these guys just tried to kill each other.
Why NASCAR's points leader was calling out other drivers, and a turnover cost the Chargers, while fourth down play saves the Saints. NFL action next in sports.
You have the entire internet at your fingertips.
But who has the time to search through it all? Well, our goal is to make it easy.
On 8 News Now at 5,
we gather the top stories of the day
with experience
and speed and accuracy so you can save time.
8 News Now at 5. From 8 News Now, sports with Scott Bemis.
Hey there, everybody. We start tonight with some NFL. And despite all the constant talk about Norv Turner's future, the Chargers actually entering today only one game out of a wild card spot, traveling cross-country to face the suddenly surging Bucks. Chargers jump on top early. Look at Denario Alexander. Stays on his feet. He's got green grass in front of him. And despite giving up a blocked punt for a score in the second quarter, Bolts actually led 21-17 at the half. But you know, Phillip Rivers was sharp, hit 29 of his 37 passes, but 2 interceptions were costly. Leonard Johnson, the beneficiary here. Bucks win it 34-24. How about those undefeated Falcons trying to stay that way at division rival New Orleans? Battle of tight ends. Jimmy Graham, 146, 2 scores, nice dunk. Tony Gonzalez, 122, 2 scores, nice dunk. Also had his 100th career touchdown. Come down to a 4th down play. Saints get the stop. They get a huge win. 31-27. Meantime, check out some other scores from Week 10. Bengals, Titans, Vikings, and Patriots, they all get wins. Broncos win for the 5th time in 6 weeks. Ravens hammer the Raiders, while the Seahawks and Cowboys, they also get W's. 49ers and Rams give us the first tie in the NFL since 2008. And in the Sunday night battle of 7-1 teams, the Bears lose Jay Cutler to a concussion and lose the game to the Texans. Now, with an early look to next week, here's Art Manteris, Vice President of Race and Sports for Station Casinos.
Hey, Scott, the Packers are back in action next week. They will be at Detroit Sunday morning and open minus a field goal at Station Casino Sportsbooks. Another good one has the hot Colts visiting New England. The Patriots are -9. And the best game of the day is the Ravens at Pittsburgh Sunday night. The Steelers are 3.5-point favorites. Now here's your first peek at next week's early Las Vegas numbers.
All right, let's go racing. Second to last race in the chase, producing some fireworks. Jimmy Johnson came in with a 7-point lead over Brad Keselowski, but a bump into the wall and a 32nd place finish means he'll be 20 points back at Keselowski heading into the last race. This was all overshadowed, though, by something else today. Jeff Gordon and Clint Bowyer quite simply had some issues, couldn't get along. Gordon retaliates for an earlier incident with 2 laps to go, takes Bowyer out, and Bowyer's crew tries to take Gordon out in the pits. Then look at this. Bowyer actually goes running up to Gordon's trailer looking for him. By the way, Kevin Harvick won the race, and afterwards, let's just say Keselowski a little perturbed by all this.
I spent a whole week being bashed by a half a dozen drivers about racing hard at Texas and how I'm out of control and have a death wish, and then I see like that. That's all you can call that. And these guys just tried to kill each other.
Now we're going to have to wash his mouth out with soap. Meantime, Running Rebels will open their season against Northern Arizona tomorrow with 9 scholarship players available. Dave Rice announcing after practice yesterday he plans on redshirting 2 freshmen, point guard Daquan Cook and forward Demetrius Moran. Of course, he also tells the Review Journal things could change, especially with regards to Cook's redshirt if they get a rash of injuries suddenly. By the way, about 500 tickets remain for tomorrow's game, so you got to get them fast. Rebel football, meantime, still unable to get that elusive road win. Yesterday, 4 first-half turnovers, which led directly to 21 Colorado State points, was the problem against the Rams. When he stopped by our studios today, Coach Houck talked about the frustration of not being able to back up a win with another win.
We've got to go. We can't be so inconsistent. We've got to tie quarters together in weeks, and then that's how you have good seasons. And we just haven't had the ability to do that. So as soon as we can do that, we got a chance to be a good football team. And you know, that's my job to make sure we develop that ability.
Just a reminder, more with Coach Houck, Chris Matthews, coming up in a matter of minutes on UNLV Game Time. They'll go in depth about yesterday's loss and look ahead to Wyoming this week. That's right after this newscast. Finally, well-known member of the Las Vegas golf community doing his part to honor some of our heroes on this Veterans Day. Renowned teaching pro Butch Harmon, himself a Vietnam veteran, hosting a tournament for 12 wounded warriors at the Valley High Golf Club. Now, over the last couple days, the veterans also got some one-on-one instruction with Butch, and Titleist completely outfitted them with new clubs and new tour-quality golf bags.
So cool. We think we have bad days, and then we look at these guys and how they never complain about anything. They never complain about how they feel or what's happened to them. They're always so positive, and it does us good to hang around them. They think we're giving them a lot. We get so much from them.
Butch and all these guys that have put this on, I mean, it's unbelievable, this event. Their hearts are just enormous.
Now, Meyer lives here in Vegas. He's dealing with all kinds of issues with regards to his health. It came from being exposed to toxic burn pits in Iraq and Afghanistan. But how about this shot today on the par 3 16th from his wheelchair out there at Valley High? Puts it on the green, gets the love from one of the best golf instructors out there, and Butch's probably taking pride in that shot.
Absolutely.
You know?
Plus, he had the fans cheering and clapping for him.
Yeah, Butch said Meyer Daniel didn't pick up a club until 2 days ago, and already he's doing that in his wheelchair. It's pretty cool.
We'll be right back.
This portion of 8 News Now is brought to you by Hennessy Haight.
One man's purchase of a used book was more like buying a winning lottery ticket. The avid reader discovered $20,000 of cash tucked inside the pages of a book at a recycling center. The man is a 53-year-old immigrant from Brazil who wants to remain anonymous. He's an avid collector of books and magazines that helped him learn English, he says. The last 4 months, he has collected more than 500 books and also magazines. The man did hold on to the money for a month before his conscience got to him. He said he couldn't sleep knowing that this money could belong to someone else. But if you find that at a recycling center, it means someone just thought, hey, I'm done with this, right?
Kind of like Storage Wars, right? When they find just cash on that
show. Yeah, those shows do a lot because a lot of people think that
finders keepers, right?
Here it is. Have a great week, everyone.